Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Market Wrap. So I am back in Philly. I had an awesome 4th of July weekend, got to go home to Connecticut, but we started with a Watchbox barbecue on Thursday, rolled right into a weekend of grilling food and family. Was just great to be home. The weather let us down a little bit, but this week we'll be heading out to AC and Spooky Nook for AAU basketball. I love summer. It's been a great start, and we're gonna roll right into it. So 3 watches that I love this week, and the first one is a Vacheron. Now, I've started more and more talking about Vacherons, especially the steel overseas. This is a rare piece because it's a previous generation black dial, but it's the dual time. More often we see the plain time only or we see the chronograph. The dual time's not one I get a lot of, but I love this particular version, love having it in the collection. The second piece is a Rolex, and one near and dear to my heart. It's the new Batman. Now, I think everybody knows my daily driver is the Batman. I love the watch. The new version looks almost exactly the same. It does wear slightly thinner, really balanced well. Great new power reserve movement. I think it's awesome to see these finally hitting the market. Love to have that, our first pre-owned one in the collection. The last piece we're going to talk about is a Lange. Obviously my favorite brand. Now this one is a super rare piece. It's the Lange 31. So it's got a 31-day power reserve, is a big watch, really thick, but to maintain that mainspring and to have that much power, needs a special key to wind it. It's an incredible piece and super rare in rose gold. Love having that one in the collection as well. So this week we had the official announcement that the Only Watch auction will come back this year in Geneva, November 9th. Now it's amazing to think that it was 2 years ago I was in Geneva for the last Only Watch sale. If you think back to 2 years ago, we had the Grandmaster Chime bring $33 million, the Journe set crazy records. So now we have 54 unique timepieces that will come under the hammer, and it's interesting to see what people did here. Now Patek went in a very different direction. They created the remake of the famous desk clock that was made for James Ward Packard in 1923. It's an incredible perpetual calendar, 31-day power reserve. It's an awesome creation, and I think a much better move than just giving us a different colored Nautilus. Now, Journe really went unique, and they made a piece that was an original idea from Francis Ford Coppola. So he wondered if there was a way to make a watch that would display the time with a mechanical hand. Now, of course, Journe here's a crazy idea. He goes for it. He made an amazing piece. It's really, at first look, a little bizarre. When you look at the mechanics behind us, it's absolutely incredible. I think it's going to bring a huge results. All the proceeds from this auction go to charity. It's a great event for our industry, and I love to see how many brands participate, make these one-of pieces that we'll only see every couple of years. Hopefully we get back into the normal cadence of an annual event, so I can't wait. Hopefully I'll get to go to Geneva to watch it. So this week we had a very special visitor in our office, CQ, with whom most of you well known. He's been off running our store in Dubai for the last 3 months, and he was back in Philly for a few days. So I thought it would be a great time to sit down with Q, get the pulse of the market in Dubai. So Q, thanks for joining me this week on Market Wrap. It is great to see you in person.
Hey, it's good to be back. I'm back in Philly.
Yeah, had to go with that.
Yes, come on.
You really are back
just for
in
the
Philly.
commenters out there. I'm back in Philly. Good to be back. It's a little bit cool out here. Even though you guys are having a heat wave, I think this is kind of chilly from where I'm coming from, I'd say.
Well, for those of you who don't know, so CQ spent about the last, 3 months taking over our office in Dubai. He's been awesome. It's been great to have you there on the ground. But it's really great to see you again. Yeah, but let's get right into it. So Dubai, obviously you've been there now for a good 3 months. Talk to me about little of what you're seeing in Dubai.
Dubai for watches is always awesome. What I love about it's it's a eclectic group of people, and it's an eclectic group of collectors there. Of course you have your Rolex head, but independents have really taken over. I had the pleasure to have a few meetings and sit with the Moser brothers, the Melans, when they released the new concept for the UAE, and it's a full ruby dial. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Immediately sold out, only 20 pieces. But what I loved is they stayed in the area for about a week or so and had a lot of private meetings, just touching with collectors. And, even though that piece was sold out, they were just really just touching the collectors and showing off different streamliners and some of the core product there. So it's really good to see the interactivity of collectors and brand representatives. Max Boucher from MB&F is there a lot as well. So it's good to see the watch love in the area for sure.
Well, I think now that people can travel, so that's a huge advantage. But I love to see the guys getting out of Switzerland, going to meet the people face to face. I haven't seen that ruby piece in person, but the pictures are amazing.
Yeah, it's sweet.
But they've done some really good limiteds, and they're just great people and great brand ambassadors. I love seeing, you always thought of that market as just kind of a Patek Rolex market. It's so nice to see them getting into Journe and Moser and now some of these other smaller brands.
Yeah, that's the one thing. When we first got there in 2019, I remember we just had all the big pieces, Patek, Rolex, and stuff like that. But they love a little bit of everything, right? They love vintage pieces a lot. Zenith is a brand that, very surprisingly, I get asked about almost every day, especially with the newer releases that came out. There's the El Primero Manufactured Edition that comes with that dial. That's a little vintage that everybody's running after there. The revival pieces have been doing very good as well. Independence, like Journe, has come alive, and it's always been big for us for the last couple of years. With there, especially the Elegantes experienced uplifting, let's say, in price point. But from then, we saw people go after the Vagabondage series, and all Journes in particular. I've had somebody even last night asking me about a Calendier from the Middle East as well. So it's good to see that they're loving independence. I think Groenfeld is another brand that's been extremely hot over there, and I know they're getting a lot of orders out of the Middle East for sure.
Well, it's interesting you brought up Zenith, because I think we kind of overlook it a little bit in the States, and not a lot of people understand the history and the quality, and the price point to me is fantastic. Amazing. So it's great to see that happening in that market, because always it was much stronger in Europe than the US, and now obviously spreading to the Middle East is great, because they did have some great introductions. We talked about it a few months ago. But even the revival pieces, I love that particular piece. It's great to see that.
Yeah, it's doing well. I think Dubai is lucky, even though it's a big, small city. So all the brands, when they're new releases, they make sure pieces are in Dubai, because there's so much collectors in one packed space, right? It's like New York City, it was a country, right, or a whole state. So all the releases happen there, and you're immediately able to see a piece in the press, then go to the boutique and at least try it on. Right, you might not be able to buy it, but you can put a deposit down. So you always get people doing that. I know IWC as well did really well in just having a lot of mini 9-10 person events where you could go, you could see some of the new concepts that have been released and some things that haven't been released yet. And I think they're enjoying that in Dubai, the fact that they're a little bit more open a little bit earlier than everybody else. So the brands are just having fun sending pieces there, and you can touch it. So it's really nice.
Well, I think, we know a lot of the experiences because of the different markets, and Asia is still very tightly locked down.
Yes.
So the brands aren't really going there. And the US is now opening up, but I think Dubai was ahead of it. So you're seeing more of the brands go right there and finish it. So that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I think they're only leaving now because it's getting a little hot. It's about
a little hot.
It's 115 degrees like in high noon. So that's a interesting experience, So I come over here and it's a heat wave and it's not so hot. So I think now people are leaving for vacation, but definitely in the past couple months of doing Watches and Wonders, you could get your hands on pieces, and that's been a really big help over there.
And I know we've talked about it a couple of times on the shows, but Dubai Watch Week's coming up.
Yes.
November will be here before you know it.
Yes.
How do you think you'll see that reaction?
I think Dubai Watch Week is going to be amazing. So it's interesting what's happening in Dubai this year. You have Dubai Watch Week in November, but you also have Expo 2020, which is going to start around October, I believe. And then it's the 50th anniversary of the UAE. So that celebration is going to be in full effect from the winter season as well. So I think there'll be a lot of people in the UAE who can travel there. And I think Dubai Watch Week is just, in 2019, we had one of the best times ever.
It was definitely one of the best times.
I think they're going to pump it up.
I love doing the daily show with you. I know we're going to do that again
yes,
this
you
year.
have to.
And for all our viewers, people, I don't know if they realize, but it's one of the only shows that the public can go.
Just register.
And is welcome. Just register, show up. You can go face to face with the guys. I mean, we spent so much time with some of the great watchmakers in the world.
It was amazing. Philippe Dufour, F.P. Journe, and there were so many people who were there who, because we were working, we didn't realize, but so many, the Milan brothers were there. I think Mr. Vutulainen was there. Jean-Claude Biver was there. So if you're a watch nerd, it was like every star. It's just like a lot of moments of just being like, being starstruck. And I think this year is going to be even better. And they're really pumped about it, and it's gonna be one great week, and it's totally free. Just download the event, and the only thing you have to register for is the seminars, which kind of booked up fast. But if you're in Dubai and just want to walk through, you can walk through. Nobody asks you for a ticket or anything like that. It's an awesome event.
No, and that's what I loved about it. And it's not a selling event.
No.
It's just to go talk, meet people, go to the seminars. Terrific experience. If you have the opportunity, highly recommend it.
It's worth the
I will
flight.
definitely be there. I know you will be there.
No.
We'll be doing daily recaps.
Exactly.
Once again,
Can't
which
wait.
is
That's gonna be fun, man.
So
Yes.
fun. So fun. I love doing that with you.
Yeah, it's a good time. Dubai Watch Week. It's worth the flight, 100%. It's a good time all around.
So I know we talked about some of the new introductions, but I know last week Tudor introduced a new bronze piece on a bracelet. Thought it was awesome.
Great price point.
Great price point, as
Amazing.
usual. Tudor
Yes.
always does amazing price points. But I think the thing that fascinated me was boutique only.
Yeah.
So I heard boutique only, and I started thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't recall ever being in a Tudor boutique. And then I went online to look it up, and the reason I haven't been in a Tudor boutique, certainly lately, is there are none in the United States.
Crazy.
And for that matter, none in Switzerland. So I thought it was
So
pretty
wild.
wild that you came out with this really cool watch, not really directly available for sale in the US or Switzerland.
Yeah, no, that was interesting because the US boutique I forgot about, and I read in an article, and I think New York or something next year we're gonna have one. But then this morning you were like, Switzerland doesn't have a boutique either. I was like, there's no Tudor boutique in Switzerland, and that's so like crazy because it's an amazing watch. I love the all bronze look. I love it at 45-25 US.
Amazing.
It's a winner.
Yeah.
I know
It's
there's
gonna
like
be collectible. It's gonna sell out.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing, and they give you a NATO strap as well. So if if you're afraid that the bronze might get to you, you just switch it out. But the fact that you can, at least in the US, is gonna.
Well, I was gonna say you're gonna have to go to the UAE again.
Exactly.
Back to
Yes,
everything's running through Dubai this year.
I'm gonna have to take orders and try to sneak in there, right? And we have to go to Canada or something. So that's interesting to see, and I'm excited to get one in person. I think when I go back, that's the first stop will be to Tudor to see if they have a display piece I can just play around with. It looks great.
And the other thing I love about Dubai, and I recall going there, is there are so many boutiques. The malls are amazing, but you can literally go to 20 boutiques in one mall.
Yes.
Kind of boutique hop, which is kind of an awesome experience.
Yeah,
if you've
and
never done
nice high-end boutiques that have full inventory. Just get your good walk-in shoes because the Dubai Mall it's a walk, right? But you can find everything there. You could go to the Mad Gallery and see MB&F watches as well as some great other pieces. Rolex is there, Patek is there. Pretty much every big brand you can think of is represented in the Dubai Mall or in other big malls in the area. And they're nice big boutiques where you can really, it's a watch guy's dream because there's everything you ever wanted is there. If you can't buy it, at least there's a demo model for you to try on. And everybody's so friendly, and it's a very not pushy atmosphere, which I love as well. It's very inviting. Come have a coffee, have a good espresso, and just talk watches. So it's really a good place if you're a watch nerd. Dubai isn't a bad place to take a detour.
It's a great place, and I can't wait to get back there and spend a lot of time with you.
Yeah, I'm excited to chill with you, and then see you for Turkey Day and Dubai Watch Week. Is going to be so awesome. Pleasure to always come back. So thank you for having me on the Market Wrap.
Couldn't be better, and I can't wait to celebrate Thanksgiving with you.
Oh yeah, see you soon.
See you soon.